Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of 15 Minutes with the Pros. I am Brian Schmidt, president of Schmidt Security Pro and Schmidt Fire, and I'm here with Ken Zahn, the COO of Schmidt Security Schmidt Fire. And today we're going to talk about electronic access control. We're going to talk about what it is, what it's used for, who it helps, and a few different components that go along with access control. And so why don't we go ahead and get it started? And I guess starting out, let's talk about what is access control? What is electronic access control? What is keyless entry, keyless access control? There's a lot of different terminology that goes along with it. But I'd say in its simplest form, it's a modern way to secure and manage buildings and access without using keys. Is that
Yeah,
kind of
pretty accurate.
a overview? Um, and and it replaces keys. It helps businesses manage who can come, when they can come, and what else,
Yeah.
Ken? What are some of the benefits
Well,
of
first of
electronic
all,
access
I think
control?
a big component of access control is security and risk reduction. I think that is probably one of the key components of why anyone from a facility side would look at access control. Secondly, I think it's accountability and from an audit trail type. I think it creates an opportunity for um, people to be accountable for entering and when they enter and how they enter. So I think the last part of it, I think, would be um, ease, efficiency, ease, or just makes it very convenient for many people who are going in different doors at different times.
Absolutely, and this technology can work with. Well, I guess we'll get to that. We'll talk about credentials.
Mhm.
Um, I know we talk a lot with customers, clients about managing their building no matter where they are. Today, everybody's mobile, everybody's, it seems like, in 10 different places at the same time. And property awareness is really important for business owners, facility managers. One thing that this electronic technology allows us to accomplish is the ability to manage buildings from anywhere pretty much using a mobile device, laptop, different ways to do that.
Mhm.
Also look at activity logs and who was where, when, all of those things. Um, any other thoughts on managing facilities and how that helps building
Yeah,
managers?
absolutely. A lot of times when it comes to facility management, there's often times where having the personnel or the manpower to take care of locking a door or unlocking the door becomes cumbersome. These systems allow access to be scheduled from the standpoint of computer generated schedule, so it'll unlock or lock at specific times, which creates a lot of simplicity to uh, taking care of the building security. You don't always have to count on an individual to be somewhere at a specific time and making sure something's locked. So those are some key pieces to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know even here in our office building, it's a great tool and helps us to manage and make sure that when everybody's gone for the day, that the doors are locked and things are secure. So
Mhm.
it's a great peace of mind that it provides. So we wanted to talk a little bit about credentials, and I guess in the simplest terminology, a credential is a device or a way of something that's used to access a door and verify that the person using it is authorized to get through that opening.
Mhm.
Um, and Ken, could you tell us a little bit about what are some of the different credentials that are utilized in electronic access control?
Sure, sure. The credential is a key component of any access control, but there are many different types of credentials. One would be your typical PVC access control card that is either in your wallet or around your neck on a lanyard. Your phone could be a credential. Your finger could be a credential when it comes to biometrics, or your face for facial recognition could also be a credential. So there's different types of credentials that allow for certain things. And once those credentials are set up, again, it depends on what your organization might require you to have or what you feel comfortable utilizing. You have your keys all the time, or you carry your phone all the time. Whatever's available, you might choose one of those that would provide you access if you're permitted to do so.
Absolutely. And I know some of the newer technology even utilizes facial recognition. So imagine walking up to a door and being identified as a person that is allowed to access that door. Even if your hands are full carrying something toward the door, you don't have to worry about getting a card out of your pocket.
Mhm.
And it will recognize you as an authorized individual, and then allow that door to unlock and be opened without having to present a card. So
Mhm.
pretty cool technology that's coming down the road here and being used in the electronic access
Mhm.
control industry. We want to talk a little bit about integrations and how this electronic access control technology and how these systems they can be integrated with other types of systems. And again, Ken, I know you've worked with a lot of these types of systems. What are some examples? What are some types of integrations, and maybe a couple of examples of how our customers are utilizing those?
Sure. When it comes to video integration, when you're looking at access control, it's utilizing video and access together, basically the word integration. So there could be multiple situations in which this would work to the advantage of the customer and or the visitor, for example, for a multi-tenant area or a condominium association where someone needs entrance into a building that doesn't necessarily have a credential or been given a credential. So, for example, they could come to the building, push an intercom, which would give a type of message to the owner, in which they could let the individual in by accessing or pushing a door button on their phone, which is allow them access. So the technology, like Brian had mentioned, has really come a long way where even you could use your existing technology that you have with you as an intercom where you could scan a QR code, which would bring up your phone and it would basically call the individual in which that's going to allow you permissible access where they could actually push a button and allow you into the building. It could be for a delivery person who could be given a code. They could do the same thing. So there's video integration basically just makes it easier for visitors and guests to get access where they normally wouldn't have maybe a permissible credential.
Awesome, awesome. And I know there's even other types of integrations, such as tying a video event to a card swipe or a card being presented to a reader, where by marrying that information together, it really is a almost like a two-factor authentication, where it's like, okay, here's the card that was presented, and now here's the image of the person that presented the card. And
Very good checks and balances. So,
absolutely, yep, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the management tools and how how are these systems set up and programmed. And I know one of the great features of this is that there can be different time schedules for a building, for example, where maybe some doors lock automatically at certain times, some doors unlock automatically at certain times, some doors or some users have 24/7 access, other users may have restricted access during the workday, for example. um, how do our customers, how does this all get set up, and if they need to make changes, because let's just say a holiday is coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday and the business is closed this coming Thursday, whereas on most Thursdays it's open, for example. How does all of this get set up, and how easy or difficult is it to manage?
mhm. Well, it really starts at the beginning where you're working with one of our sales staff that really tailored to your need or your specific need. So not everybody's the same, and not everybody's business runs the same. and it runs at different times of the day, maybe different times of the year, where you might need certain access during certain times of the day, and you might not allow access during even certain days of the week. So it starts with an administrator and a software program, and just like Ed Brian had mentioned, where the software would be actually loaded uh, on the account of which your business is, whether it's a PC or a phone, which user groups are set up. So depending on the level of the credential or the authority, they can be granted certain permissible access certain to doing during certain times or through certain doors or areas. So I think that is a real easy setup once the groundwork is gathered and taken by the business owner. And then that administrator can determine based on who and what needs to go where, what kind of groups they're in. So that can be then pushed out on the credential format, whether it's the card or their phone. And at that point, they can get access when needed. It also allows them to manage remotely if they need to. If there's a weather event they need to lock down a bunch of doors at once and they don't have anyone on site to do so, they can actually physically do that with one click of a button.
Great, great. And I know most, or really pretty much nowadays, all of these systems that we work with they're cloud-based. And what that means is there's no more of the way we used to do it is, the customer had to buy a dedicated server. And on this server, then there was special software that was loaded onto the server. And then every couple years, usually that software needed to be updated to the current version. Everything now is cloud-based, which makes it super easy to work with and log on to from anywhere, even from their mobile phone.
Mhm.
To if let's say an employee needed deleted from the system immediately due to some sort of incident that happens, customers can easily go to their mobile device and delete that user. So from a facility safety standpoint, I know that's a really nice thing, and makes it much easier to live with for everybody.
Absolutely. Holiday schedules was another really key component I
Yeah,
think that a lot of our customers appreciate, where, there's, again, schedules are different. So it allows that to be tailored to what their needs are, which makes it a lot easier for the customer.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, hey Ken, thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks, and thank you for taking the time to spend it with us here. I think our 15 minutes are about up, but we appreciate it. And if you'd like to learn more about electronic access control, give us a call here at Schmidt Security Pro.